We got it next. That's how you finesse. We come for they next. Wait, put it away. Cause you know I hustle, I came from the bottom of my way. You ain't done it so many times, now you know we well. Making a move, this is the life that I choose. What else do I gotta lose? Thinking I'm walking my shoes, no.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I guess it's the moment we've all been waiting for, or not really. But we are now waiting for Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone to speak to the media after another failed New York Yankees season. And since 2018, under this regime, it has been failure after failure after failure after failure. Mind you, again, folks, the New York Yankees have not won a World Series since 2009. And here we are, probably going to be speaking about the same damn things. But just to throw some stuff out there before I say hi to everybody that is here with us today. Let me make sure I got this set up here. I do. Perfect. Want to make sure I can see the chat. I can. Couple of quick things to just throw out there for everyone. I am not going to be streaming this live. I'm not going to be streaming this live, meaning that I'm not going to stream it where you guys are going to watch it live. I can't do that because I don't want the stream to get taken down. And two, I want to react in the moment. So I'm not even going to be listening to it live. I'm going to break it out there whenever video clips are dropped and things of that nature. I will break it down that way and go from there. Lul Pandas or whatever his name, it says 2024 was not a failure. Yes, it was. 2024 was a failure. All the other years when you don't win a World Series are a failure. Sorry to everybody, to get everybody, some fans out there get all crazy. I live based off the old school motto of the New York Yankees. Every year is a failure when you don't win the World Series. That's how it goes. There is no let me pick and choose things that I want to say is a failure or not. It's a failure. That is the way I was raised under George Steinbrenner run with the Yankees. That's the way I was raised under Derek Jeter's great run with the Yankees. He believes the same thing. I believe that. That is the way I go about my business. If the Yankees don't win the World Series, it's a failure. I don't care if you get there every damn year. You don't win. It is a failure. That's it. We have a new mindset of Yankee fans who don't believe that, being led by a lot of the beat writers, being led by Hal Steinbrenner, being led by Brian Cashman. They'll come out there and they'll tell you, well, we may not win a World Series or blah, 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 blah. That's baloney. And there it is right there. Lil Pandas, I'm happy he's here because he is right away going along the lines of what the new age mottos are. Well, when the Yankees won all those titles, there weren't that much competition. Baloney. There's more teams now looking to spend money. The Yankees can't win every year. Well, the Yankees never won every year. The Yankees had a dynasty of one of the greatest teams ever put together. That is why they won, as you're currently seeing with the Dodgers, who are competing against the same teams, but they are now looking to build a dynasty, and they've gone to the World Series quite a bit since 2017. So again, you got a lot of people who have bought into the new mindset that everything's against the Yankees. No, don't treat the Yankees the same way. That's not fair. It's not fair, folks. You got other teams spending money. How is that fair to the mighty Yankees, who, by the way, almost brought in, I think they did bring in over $750 million of revenue. They're going to be with the Dodgers, probably teams in the future, next couple of years, to bring in over $1 billion of revenue. Yet we're going to sit here and say there's competition now. That's what I think of that mindset and your competition. It's bullshit. It's right out of the page of Hal Steinbrenner's Yankees, which, by the way, are losers. May I mind you. We don't know this yet, but it hasn't been announced. Hal Steinbrenner, who is the boss of the New York Yankees, folks, apparently, I don't know if he's going to be there or not. I doubt he is. You know, I had somebody, I like to throw this stuff out there, right? I had somebody today as I'm going to wait with you guys again, guys. I am not streaming this live. I can't do that. I am going to wait until we get, you know, clips, and I'll play those clips live for everybody. And I will give myself time to go ahead and react to those because I want to react in the moment. I don't want to react, having to pause things and all that. I don't want to do that. But, you know, I had somebody say, Pete, why does the owner of the Yankees have to be there if the GM is there? You know, it's just so shocking to me that so many people truly believe that Hal Steinbrenner should not speak. The owner of the New York Yankees should not come out and address the fans. He should be a ghost. He should allow Brian Cashman just to do it. Well, it again goes to show you folks what I've been saying for a while. The New York Yankees are a headless organization. They are being led by a body with no head. They have an owner who is missing. They have an owner who is constantly MIA. That is one of the major issues with this club. They have an owner who is putting in a business investment, fair game for a payroll, making quite a bit of money, handed that around to his family, and then sitting there going, well, you know, we tried again. We got in. I mean, we did get in. We'll try to be better. We'll try better next year. We'll see what happens. I don't know why fans are accepting of that. I know for a fact that I am not. Got a super chat here from my good friend Alex.
Thank you for being a friend.
If you didn't win it in 2024, it's a failure along with the other years, plain and simple. There is no difference between losing in 2003 and there's no difference of losing in 2024. Just saying. Aaron Boone is apparently the first one up to the mic speaking. Again, guys, as clips are posted, I will go ahead and react to those. But again, I find it to be unfair if I have to listen and react because I don't want to pause a live press conference. So I'm not going to listen to it live. I am not hearing anything at the moment. I'm going to take my time, allow myself to break down each comment, each thought being said, and go from there. Who knows, too? There could very well be breaking news today. A lot of people are under the expectation that they believe Aaron Judge is also going to be in line for surgery. So we have not heard that yet. Maybe that news will break today. Probably would be a good idea for the Yankees to do that. So it kind of takes, you know, maybe pressure and questions off of themselves and on to, you know, how do you replace that? It's already been announced, as you guys know, that Anthony Volpe had left shoulder surgery. That's already done. The shoulder is already, that surgery is already completed. So, guys, again, I know a lot of Yankee beat writers are going to be there. Typically, they do get videos up fairly quickly. So, once I get those videos, you guys will have it immediately. And like I said, guys, feel free to take this time, ask me questions. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here watching this and waiting for videos to be uploaded. But as of right now, there's nothing yet. I believe it just got underway. So we'll see what happens there. The reason I'm not listening to it, guys, because it's unfair. It's unfair in the sense that I'll have to pause it and then I'm going to miss things. And I don't want to listen, pause it, react. I don't want to do that. I want to get the clips and react in the moment and go from there. It's a lot easier. Also, on top of that, I can't show it on the screen. And I can't really play the audio on the screen unless my stream could get taken down. So I don't want to have to go ahead and do something like that. Where is the new studio going to be? The new studio will be closer to New York. Closer to New York is where the new very close to New York, by the way. But that is where the new studio will be. Aaron Boone says Anthony Volpe will start hitting in 4 months. Can't dive. Oh, I guess that was taken away. So again, guys, I am just waiting. I am just waiting for quotes to drop and things of that nature. If you guys want to throw stuff in there, by all means, go right ahead. But I don't have any videos yet regarding good old Booney Bubbles. He's the first one speaking. I'm waiting until I get some sort of video here. Let's see. Maybe Yes Network will also post. No surgery from Judge is what a lot of you guys are saying, is what they're actually saying right now. There is no video yet. Let me just double check and wait and see for a second. All right, let me see something here real quick, guys. Give me a second, guys. Like I said before, man, I am not going anywhere. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I'm not going anywhere. Steelio, what's up, brother? How we doing, fam? What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What up, what up, what up? Typically, they're a lot quicker with there. Aaron, okay, so we got some stuff trickling in now. Not video yet. But again, let me go ahead and post these on here. All right, so this is Brian Hoke. Aaron Judge will not need surgery. Aaron Boone said he'll take some time off and continue to do strengthening things and rehab stuff. Tell you the truth, not overly confident about that, but that is the way the Yankees go about injuries. I know our own doctor here, Jeff J., he said that he truly believes Judge will have to have surgery at some point. So we'll see. We'll see about that. We'll see what actually happens there. But that is the first comment we got. Here's another one here from Greg Joyce. Carlos Rodon underwent an elbow scope yesterday to clean up loose bodies and shave off a bone spur. Probably delays his start to the season, given 8 weeks of no throwing. So there's another one. Carlos Rodon not expected to potentially start the year on time for the Yankees. He had a procedure on his elbow to remove loose bodies and shave a bone spur, is what Carlos Rodon had. So fairly interesting there to hear that about Rodon. It's probably okay. He might miss the start of the 2026 season. That is what we're hearing right now. And of course, we'll continue to get more. Jeffrey, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? Jersey J, what up? DJ Steelio again. William Henry, the one, the only. Day of Doom, laugh out loud, talking about togetherness and closeness. Doesn't shock me. It doesn't shock me one bit if Boone's out there talking about togetherness. And it's more the same. That's who they are. That's who they've become. That is who the New York Yankees have become. It's unbelievable. He's Barney. He is legitimately Barney. So there's no video yet. Here we go. Now we got video. Okay, let's go ahead and play this and I'll react.
Maybe the best team you'd ever managed. You said it internally, then you shared it publicly. What prevented the team from living up to what you thought it would be?
Yeah, definitely the timing. Just in a lot of ways, it was a tough year to get to the place we wanted to get to as a club, and I really felt like we got there in the final 6, 7, 8 weeks, whatever it was, where everyone was kind of coming together at the right time. I feel like, we had different ways of beating you on a given night. We were healthy for the most part going in, with at least who we started the year with. And then just, ran into a Toronto club that beat us. We couldn't, they ended up scoring a ton of runs against us in the 4 games that we played them and just couldn't keep them off the board and end up losing a series. So, it makes it very tough. Obviously the year before we get to the World Series, a very different team in a lot of ways than we were this year. Also a very good club that I felt was capable of winning it all. If a couple things go a different way, and so those, that makes it especially tough, I think, when you get to the end, when you feel like, man, you have a team that could have gone deep and could have matched up and played with anyone, but we got beat, and we just had a hard time, obviously, keeping them off the scoreboard in the series. They put it on us off from an offensive standpoint, and we didn't have a good enough answer.
Towards the end of
Well, there you go. I mean, more of the same of what we hear all the time from these New York Yankees. And again, he's not really making excuses there. He is saying that, they did lose They wanted to get better, and he originally starts off with we never really put it all together, and then towards the end there we did, but we still lost. It's more of the same thing with this club. Is I will say this: it is nice to hear that there wasn't an excuse on why they lost. They did just get beat by a better team at the end of the day, and I do believe Toronto was a better team than the New York Yankees, and they beat them. And that's that's all they could have done. But again, my question just goes to, and I don't know if any beat writer is going to ask this. I highly doubt they do. Is when do you guys think enough is enough? And I think that is a very fair question. There's a lot of people that want to act like that is unfair to say, and it's not. To me, that is an extremely fair question to ask the general manager of the Yankees or even Aaron Boone. I think it's a really fair question to ask. When is enough enough? How many years are Yankee fans expected to see you sit here and repeat the same thing? How many times failing is enough? Is it ever enough? Do you guys have an unlimited amount of tries at this? Do you have a cheat code where every time you guys are defeated, you bounce right back and you're allowed to keep doing that? I think it's a very fair, and I would love to hear them answer that question. I really would. I would love to hear Brian Cashman, Aaron Boone answer from a beat writer. When is enough enough? When is enough enough? When is it time to say this hasn't worked? They won't do it.
When you reflect on that Blue Jays series, what are the plays, the sequences, the decisions, or even the non-decisions that stay with you the most?
Yeah, look, I think them just continuing to pressure us, and right from the jump, I felt like, we're behind. We're behind in games, and and that's in part a big credit to them. They whether it was hitting the ball out of the ballpark against us, whether it was putting the pressure on us by just continuing to work counts and putting the ball in play, they beat us. And so you always just comes down to they out execute us and outplayed us.
And outmanaged you guys also. That's the other thing. They were also outmanaged by the Toronto Blue Jays. They just absolutely were a better team. The Yankees just yet again just did not seem prepared. They just didn't seem prepared to go ahead and get to where they needed to be and to prepare themselves to take on a team like the Toronto Blue Jays. And that's another thing I think a lot of people can ask, and they try to stay away from, right, is why does this team always seem unprepared? Why does this team always not seem to be able to step up to the challenging moments? And that's it. You don't see that happen. That's one thing about Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman that drive me absolutely up a wall. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other things that need to be brought up. These are just very early statements. I can't wait to hear about Anthony Volpe. I can't wait to hear that you had Jose Caballero there and you guys refused to play him. Why? When you know this kid needed surgery, why was Anthony Volpe continuing to be ran out there? Why was that the case when Jose Caballero was here and well prepared? And again, as they just said in the chat, no Hal Steinbrenner. It seems like, yet again, Hal Steinbrenner is missing in action. And here we go. Here's the latest on Anthony Volpe. Let's take a listen.
For Volpe, will he have a normal spring training, or will he come in a little bit behind?
Probably a little behind. The schedule would be for him to start hitting in 4 months, which would put us at middle of February. So at the start of spring, he'll start hitting. The last thing, but he can't dive on it or anything until 6 months is kind of the. But I think we'll also have a better idea at the 3-4 months if that timeline moves up a little bit, if it delays a little bit. But right now it's 4 months until he's swinging, until he's hitting again. So my expectation that he would be delayed to start the season or starting a rehab assignment when we're starting the season. But we'll have a better idea of that in probably 3-4 months in as it heals.
So again, it's probably not the Boone questions to ask regarding Anthony Volpe. Now you can ask him about, why was Anthony Volpe utilized the way he was? And I'm praying that the beat writers they did follow up with that. I hope they followed up with that. Then why was he played so much? Why was, this and that? But can I just say something real quick that from a lot of people may hear me say this, and they may sit there, they may sit there and say, I don't know, Pete. Here's what I'll tell the Yankees. You guys have an excuse to now move on from Anthony Volpe. You have an excuse. You got time to put somebody better at shortstop. That's what you should do. You have time. Now, he's out. He's injured. You got to put somebody else there. Put somebody else there that's capable. Do it now while you have time. Get away with it. If you guys are so concerned with the look, well, we had to replace him. He couldn't play. What are we going to do? Put somebody there. Put somebody there now. You can still talk him up all you want. Put somebody else there that is capable now and run for the hills. Replace him and run for the hills. A lot of people aren't talking about this. Do they think he's going to get better after left shoulder surgery? I give you guys a little history lesson. Different position, different hitter. Miguel Andujar. He was never the same guy after his rookie year, was he? Guess what he had? Shoulder surgery. Couldn't hit anymore. Took him about 4 or 5 years. 4 years roughly to get back to being somewhat of what he was, which now you're starting to see that more. Run for the hills. Ronnie says, oh, just wait. Boone isn't making excuses, but Cashman will. No doubt about it. Cashman will defend his guys. I believe that. We had another one here. M. Beer says, Boone copying Schneider's look. Hoping it means a World Series next year. Lord have mercy. Oh, my God. Run for the hills, folks. Run for the hills. I'm telling you right now, run for the hills. I don't see anything else there, but we'll see. Xavier Ramos says replace him like they did with A-Rod for Aaron Boone. Remember? After 2003. 100%. 150%. Replace him. Now is the time. You actually have a window here to replace Anthony Volpe. And let me tell you guys something. They won't do it. The Yankees will not do it. This is an organization that is lost. And there you go. D says right now, Boone just said he still views Volpe as the starting shortstop. Of course they do. Of course they do. They will not sit there and say Anthony Volpe has not been a good ball player. They will not say it. They're not going to sit there and say we passed on a lot of people and we're going to go ahead and stick with this kid no matter what. They got Jose Caballero, so you know what they'll do? They'll run Jose out there probably, potentially, for a little bit and go from there. But this Yankee team, this is exactly why you just can't have confidence in this club. You can't. Corinne says, Boone sounds like a JRPG protagonist. I don't know what JRPG is. I'm sorry, I'm a little slow. Where having your soldiers marry each other makes the team 10 times better. Our bonds are undefeatable type shit. That's Aaron Boone, yeah. Yeah, that's 150%. It's Aaron Boone, no doubt about it. That's Aaron Boone. You're honestly spot on with that. A Japanese role-playing game. Okay. Yes, you're 100% right. That is no doubt him. So I have no other additional videos at the moment. As D adds in, Boone just said that Volpe is still the starting shortstop. Of course he did. And I don't know if the beat writers are going to push back at all. I highly doubt they will. Beat writers don't typically... These beat writers here don't typically push back at all, so I doubt there will be any type of pushback. As I'm still waiting to see if we have anything updated. Let me see here. Okay, we already know the Yankees are promoting Jake Hurst to the MLB staff as assistant hitting coach. He has been the organization's hitting instructor. Aaron Boone was viewed Aaron Boone was asked if he views Anthony Volpe as his starting shortstop once he's healthy. This is from Max Goodman. He's right in the mix to do that. Boone did say that Volpe's offensive production needs to improve, but he commended the shortstop for his defense. He's betting on Volpe's talent and work ethic. Again, guys, these are the Yankees being stupid. Let me tell you guys something again, real. He's betting. He commended him on his defense. Anthony Volpe was one of the worst defensive shortstops in baseball this season. He was one of the worst defensive shortstops in baseball this season. That is a fact. That is a fact. And if the Yankees commend him on his defense and they think that defense is good, take Bo Bichette away from the turf and put him there. You'll have a 10 times better player because his defense ain't that great either. So then why not just get the better player? If you commend Anthony Volpe on his defense in 2025, why not just get the better player? His defense ain't that good either. You can say it is all you want. You can lie about it and say it's great. Get the guy that can hit 300 plus all the time like it's easy. How about you go ahead and get that guy? We'll see. Let me go back to Yes Network. I think there's more stuff here. M. Beer says, weird. The entire front office thought Volpe was the best option when Cabby hit damn near 270 if they're coming to the team and gave better better defense. Spot on. And then why is, again, my question. I don't know if, again, I'm not going to call out any beat writers yet because I don't know if they're talking about this. They could very well be. If that's the case, why did Volpe allow to strike out every damn at-bat in the postseason? Why was that okay? If he was injured and needed surgery, why was he out there every day? In the playoffs, when you're trying to win a World Series, why did you have a compromised shortstop playing every day when you got Jose Caballero, who is more than capable? Did anybody ask that question? I hope they did. I hope they asked it. We'll see. Here's another one. Let's take a listen.
Scope of Carlos Rodon had a scope of the elbow yesterday to get some loose bodies, and I think they shaved down a bone spur. So he'll go into an 8-week of no throw, which probably when you build in all the ramp up and the throwing program into getting him ready to be a starting pitcher, probably delays him potentially a couple weeks to start the season. But everything went well yesterday. He had the surgery out in LA with Elatrage. And so for now, he's 8 weeks no throw, and then he'll start his ramping up in the middle of December, his throwing program.
So that's the stuff we already heard about Carlos Rodon. Again, guys, of course, we're going to wait to hear. Brian Cashman is still going to be coming up here. Let's see. That's the same video. But, I've seen a lot of reaction from a lot of fans already, and fans are saying the same exact thing that, we've all kind of been saying here, and I'm seeing it by a lot of people. It's simply saying, again, why then was Anthony Volpe out there? And I'm not watching this live. I don't know. I don't know if any beat writer has asked a question about the playoffs. I have seen a bunch of tweets, and again, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Twitter, of Yankee Twitter specifically. I think there's a lot of crazy, not everybody, but there's a good amount of good accounts out there and some bad accounts. But it seems like everybody is along the same path here. Then why was he playing? And again, some of you guys are watching it. I don't know if anybody asked that question. They probably didn't. These Yankee beat writers are about as good as a used condom, to be quite honest. They're useless. Just got to be on. They're about as good as a used condom. There's no point of having them half of the time because they don't do their job. On top of that, if they did do a little bit of pushback, Jason Zillo would, do his job himself and go from there. And I don't know, man. None of these writers just seem to really do their job because, I always say it. People think like you got to be a dick. They think like you got to be an asshole when you ask questions, and you don't. One of the great things that the Yankees, a beat writer could ask about Anthony Volpe is, what do you guys really see that gives you, read his numbers. Read his numbers for the first three. Hey, I just wanted the ba 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 ba. After knowing that, and now after having shoulder surgery, what makes you guys believe that this is going to be a improved player? I think it's very simple. That is, you're not saying nothing wrong. You're watching a guy in Anthony Volpe who hasn't shown anything for 3 seasons. Now he's having shoulder surgery. And you expect us to continue to sit here and say, what do you guys see in this player? What is it that you guys see? It's so great. Gates of Above says, has Hal been found? Waldo is taking notes on how to hide like that man. No, Hal Steinbrenner is still nowhere to be found. The Yankees, again, are an organization with no head. He is the boss. He is the boss by name only, and that is it. That is all he is. Let's see. I'm waiting to see if we get some more video. They've been kind of slow with the video today, to be honest. I think they've been really slow with the video today. Typically, they're a whole lot quicker than this. Yeah, that's the same Aaron Boone video before. The same stuff there. Brian Cashman is still expected to speak. All right, here goes another one here by regarding Dominguez. Jason Dominguez is expected to play regularly next season. Aaron Boone said he may play winter ball. They envision him in left field depending on how the offseason goes. Same things that they said last year about Jason Dominguez, and then he barely played baseball. So again, I don't take this with any type of grain of sand at all. Sitting there saying that is the same thing they said last season. That's why they added that part in, depending on how the offseason goes, because obviously, as it stands right now, Jason Dominguez would be in left field because Bellinger is not under contract. So there's no guarantee, of course, as of right now. We're going to have to play him somewhere out there. And when they say he may play winter ball, let me tell you something, man. That is where they're just stupid. The decision to play Jason Dominguez in winter ball should have been made already, and he should be playing winter ball. To me, there's not even a conversation about, well, he may play winter ball. No, his ass needs to be playing winter ball. Jason Dominguez needs reps. Again, I don't understand what is so hard to understand about this. Jason Dominguez needs reps. You got to leave him out there to play winter ball. Send him to a team that has a good development and let him go learn from somebody that is not the Yankees coaching. Let him learn from somebody else on how to read and judge fly balls off the bat in left field. That's it. Let him go there and let him get reps. To sit there, he may play winter. No, he needs to be playing winter ball. Again, same shit, different day. I'm not looking to pick on the Yankees here, but to me, that's just the wrong answer. He may play winter. He should be playing winter ball. It's insanity. It's insanity. Let's see what else we got here, guys. Aaron Judge recently underwent an MRI on his elbow and will not need surgery. Okay. They expect him to be the full-time right fielder to start the year, so that's a good thing. But again, I don't know if any beat writer asked that question yet about Anthony Volpe. I just saw somebody comment on that again. I don't think a beat writer asked him about playing in the postseason. I haven't seen that yet. And then no new videos as it stands right now. I'll wait until we get some more. Let me go back to Yes and see if they got another video posted here. They do not. So we'll see. He wouldn't bench Grisham in a postseason. Worst manager. M. Beer says 97% of the team needs to play winter ball. Well, the main guys definitely do. And look, I'm not going to say obviously everybody. out there needs to play, but a guy like Jason Dominguez, that shouldn't even be a conversation. The fact that they say may play is nuts. Jason Dominguez could be one of your real igniters next year. You need him. You need Jason Dominguez. This team needs a guy like Jason Dominguez. And, you know, I took a beating all year from a lot of fans that just said, oh, Pete, please, blah, 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 Dominguez. I don't know how fans don't recognize that level of talent that they need. Philo says, Boone said, yes, Dominguez will play winter ball, but they haven't finalized nothing with Lidom yet. Okay, well, that's a better answer. So I'm reading by what the beat writers are saying. So that's a better answer. If that is what Aaron Boone did say, then I respect that answer because he needs to play winter ball. It shouldn't be a conversation. Jason Dominguez must play winter ball, no doubt about it. Let's see. Jack Curry with the same update on Aaron Judge. We know that's good. Francis just commented something regarding Ben Rice, but I don't see anything there yet on what the comment actually was. But Francis just tweeted that Ben Rice answer tells you they're looking to add a righty backstop, which my assumption there might be that they're planning to play him at first base, which is what I was saying yesterday. I don't see anything there yet. Let's see. Jason Dominguez is expected to play regularly next year. Aaron Boone. Okay, that's the same one I saw. Let me see if anybody wrote it in the chat. Nobody wrote in the chat yet. So again, guys, I'm still waiting on getting information here so I can react in the moment with you guys at the same time. Let's see. Let me go back to Yes Network and see here. No, they're not posting no video at all. So I'm kind of in a dark space here right now. I don't know what the hell is going on with the questioning of Aaron Boone at the moment. It seems like nobody's really updating either. So there's a bit of a little gap here. Aaron Boone mentions that he sees Ben Rice as their first baseman, but also notes that he is capable of catching. Yeah, I mean, look, guys, I talked about this yesterday. In the last couple of days, I believe that Ben Rice is going to be the Yankees' first baseman. He's athletic. He can move. He needs to work on his feet. He needs to work on his feet, on his footwork, and that is it. If he works on his footwork, I actually believe he could be a good first baseman. I know a lot of people don't necessarily want to hear that, but I do believe Ben Rice could be a good first baseman. And it's also part of the reasons why I've been saying they should get a guy like Okamoto, because Okamoto's a Gold Glove first baseman, a Gold Glove third baseman. He can help you out late in games, but he can also start in many different positions. That's why I like the idea of, bringing him to the Yankees. That's what makes a lot of sense. Here we go. We got a little bit more here from Boone.
His recovery process.
Garrett's doing well. I think he starts getting off the mound a little bit lightly next week. And then I think he'll have at some point here in the next few weeks, he'll have a deload back off session. He'll meet with Elatrage again when he goes back to California, probably sometime next month, and then before spring training. But he's on track to hopefully, when in spring training, at some point in spring training, hopefully we'll see him on the mound starting to face live hitters and start that progression and that ramp up. But so far, everything's going according to plan.
Is he in play for opening day?
I wouldn't say, no, not opening day, but.
So again, kind of more the same stuff we know, that he's on schedule. We know he's been throwing. That's about Garrett Cole, by the way. He will not be ready for opening day. They believe it'll be slightly after that. Towards the end of spring training, he may start to ramp some things up. And again, that's something that we heard for a while, that we were expecting. So apparently Aaron Boone is finishing up, and now we're going to hear from Brian Cashman. So just yet again, man, I'm just disappointed. And it's the sad thing is it's not even Aaron Boone that I'm disappointed in. I'm disappointed once again in the media of the New York Yankees, because This is nothing new, and maybe I'm ignorant here because I haven't listened to the whole thing. You guys, whoever's been listening can tell me. I don't know if they ever brought this up. Did any beat writer ask Aaron Boone, then why was Volpe playing in the postseason every day? I don't know. I'm not watching, guys. Some of you are watching and have watched the whole thing. I'm trying just to react live so I don't get, and I'll miss anything. Medina said no, nobody asked. Ness says yes, somebody asked. So now we got back and forths. I don't know if somebody did ask. Some of you are saying they did. Yes, they did ask, says J Rax. What was the? Does anybody know what the answer was exactly? Did Aaron Boone answer that in any way about what was said? And this is a great comment right here. I want to throw this one out there. I want to throw this on the screen because this is so true. Lou DiPietro says Anthony Volpe played for 5 months with a shoulder that required an operation with a 4-month recovery time just to start hitting. But Boone doesn't second guess it, and for the majority of the year, it wasn't affecting his play. So he's actually a 210 hitter who sucks at shortstop. And then people want to tell me he's not much different than Bo Bichette. But yes, folks, I've been told that about 15 times over the last 2 hours. That Anthony, this is a quote that I got. You ready for this? Anthony Volpe and Bo Bichette are the Spider-Man meme when they're pointing at each other. That's what I've been told. I've been told they're the same player. Don't upgrade that. Don't upgrade it. So Brian Cashman is now stepping up to the plate. We'll see what Brian Cashman has to say. But according to Aaron Boone, again, a beat writer apparently did ask that. Tip my cap to them. Got to be fair here. Good for them for asking that. And apparently, by the way, the interview is on Yes Network if you guys are seeing that. But, oh, there it is. Okay, no, that's not it. He's right in the mix to do that, blah, blah, blah. It's the same shit we saw before. But apparently Aaron Boone said he doesn't question playing Anthony Volpe in the postseason. You know why he doesn't question it? The analytics said it was the right thing to do. The analytics said based off the numbers, it was the right thing to do. So how do you question something like that? That's what's wrong with analytics, by the way. Talked about. I've been working on this very hard. I've been asking and reaching out to some people regarding this. Analytics, they don't change analytics because the numbers are always right. The idea is you could look at a club analytically and you could project how many wins they'll have. And typically, to be fair, it gets close to being correct unless things go really haywire. So if you project your team's a 90-plus win team based on analytics and you win 94 games, the numbers were correct. You just had bad luck in the postseason. That's what it does. And that's why they're playing the iPad game. That is why they have become the calculator boys. Is because in reality, you look at these things, you put it together, you calculate it up, it goes, you know what? We project this to be a 90 to 95 win team, 92 to 95 win team. Okay, that puts us in the postseason. That's why they don't adjust it, because in their opinion, it works. It works. And that's it. It works. Let's see if we got any more. Let's see this one. Here's another one from Boone.
Coming back, just what prompted those decisions and any other staff changes that we should be aware of?
Pat Rustler too, who's what we're still seeing if there's some other role or whatever, but he will not be back in the same capacity. Just look, every year there's difficult choices to make, and in
not
the
for
case
you,
of Chappie,
not for you.
has done a lot of great things in this organization through player development and then coming up and impacting our club up here. So those are hard decisions. In the case of Mike Harkey, a guy who's been here for so long.
I love how everybody else gets the blame though, right? Oh, it's difficult decisions you got to make. Not for you. This is coming from, by the way, folks, again, it just irritates me because it's arrogant. It could be the right thing to say, but it's fucking arrogant. So this is, again, coming from a guy who, they lost the World Series last year. The first words out of his mouth was, I like my team's togetherness. This year, he goes, they're sharing in there. They're sharing. Aaron, do you expect to be back? I mean, yeah, I'm under contract. I expect to be back. Didn't even answer the question in the way of saying, why are you guys even asking me this for? We just lost. It's difficult to get rid of all those other guys, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, somebody got to take the blame, right? Can't be me. Can't be me.
It has been, kind of an institution with us and has been in the middle of a lot of winning with us and has impacted our organization in tremendous ways and is one of my best friends. So those are awful days.
Phil Nevin was also one of his best friends, by the way, and Boone threw him under the bus. Just so everybody's aware of that.
To go through. And both guys that I have a ton of respect for. And ultimately, the organization needs to make difficult decisions sometimes as, you move forward as an organization. So, and then we obviously have a couple of guys that are interviewing for managerial jobs out there. So we'll see how that impacts, obviously, if they're moving on by chance.
Where you should be.
How that impacts us.
Where you
Obviously,
should
we'd have
be.
to replace certain things, but we got a couple of spots for right now that we have to replace, and we'll see moving forward if there's more.
Just following up on that, is Jake Hurst joining the
Jake
staff?
Hurst will be, yes. Jake Hurst, who's been in player development, I think since 18, whether it's been in a coordinator's role or at affiliate, has really had a lot of success in our organization and has earned this opportunity. Another guy that was, had some big league opportunities with other clubs that, we had to make some decisions on and move on rather quickly. So excited that we'll be adding Jake to the staff, to our hitting group.
That's assistant.
What's that?
That's assistant hitting coach.
Yeah, he'll be one of the.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at him. Shorb said, so what's next after togetherness and sharing? My guess is spooning. It's coming up, man. The spooning is coming up. That's the next thing, damn it. You're so friggin' right. But again, it's more of the same. Here's a little more on Anthony Volpe. Let's take a listen.
Yeah. I mean, he's right in the mix to do that. So I think one of the things that I'm proudest about for Anthony is, obviously it was a very tough season, for him in a lot of ways. And I think he got a lot of, arrows thrown his way. And I always feel like he handles those things so well. And really for the first time since he's been here, because I think it's important to know like how good a defender he's been. And he went through a stretch of 4 to 6 weeks where he struggled on that side of the ball. He made some.
It's a lot. That, ladies and gentlemen, that's a lie. It was not 4 to 6 weeks. It was the entire season. This is the analytic team. Use the fucking numbers. If you're gonna be the analytic club, stop fucking picking and choosing. That's why it gives analytics a bad name, because you fucks want to pick and choose. Stop picking and choosing. He was bad. Cut this shit out.
Errors that he shouldn't have made, some key spots where he made some mistakes. I think it's.
How about all the plays that weren't even ruled errors? The mistakes, the mental mistakes that he made. What are those?
Really important to note that how well he played on defense the final 8 weeks of the season. Very much in line with who he's been in the 3 years that he's been our shortstop. So the defense, I feel like, really returned to a level that we've come to know with Volpe after going through some tough moments there in the middle of the season. The offense,
Had tough moments all year.
is
Are you?
really in line with what he's done the first 2 years. It's looked a lot of different ways, but you kind of
Worse.
look up the same, and it's been that kind of same OPS. Whether the average has been lower, there's been more power in some years. For him to become, that frontline shortstop, that's got to improve. He understands that. We understand that.
Move on.
And hopefully he has that opportunity to continue to do that. I also think it's important to note, and we talk about this around different players and different things throughout the year, like he's 24 years old. There's a lot of guys, first picks, we see in this game all the time. It's just not this linear trajectory all the time where you get to the big leagues and you're the guy that's supposed to be. And, the reality is he's a really talented player that works his butt off, that
Cares?
has tremendous makeup, tremendous toughness.
Who cares?
And is a great person in our room. And
Oh,
I'm going
God.
to bet on that. That said, it hasn't happened offensively speaking to the level it needs to yet. But doesn't mean it won't get there. I think Zill and I were talking, Dansby Swanson, who's become obviously one of the game's, very similar start to his career offensively. It doesn't always just happen right away. So continue to work alongside him and hopefully, get him to that point. But we'll see how the roster takes shape though this winter. And,
Once again, at the detriment of your own club, you will continue to say next year, next year, next year, next year, next year, next year, next year. One of my biggest problems that I have regarding these answers is just once again, what is he works hard. That's cute. That's great. He works hard. That means you just keep running them out there. And this is what drives me nuts about this organization. Again, when is enough enough? So you just think it's okay to say, hey, he works hard, so that gives him a spot. Jason Dominguez worked hard, right? He's always been known as a hard worker in the minor leagues. Where was his spot? He didn't get one. Why? Why did he get one? Anthony Volpe gets unlimited tries? Well, he's 24. You guys were saying that when he was 22. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. How many years we're going to go for it?
Do you see Jason Dominguez being more or less an everyday player for you next season? And how would you assess how he handled the second half where he didn't play all that much?
Yeah, I would expect him to be right in that mix, to be that guy, and still really like his ceiling. I think he did a lot of really good things this year, as far as handling. But again, you got to see where the winner takes you and what the roster looks like. I expect him to be a regular player for us, though.
Just like he expects to win. You know what
I
that
think
goes.
he did a lot of really good things this year. I think, obviously, defensively, left field continues to be a work in progress. That being said, I think he's made tremendous strides out there as well. And I think we can all envision him becoming a very good defender out there, just with his athleticism, his speed, his arm strength, the work he's put into it. So we saw strides there. I think we all see the ability he presents at the plate from both. He didn't hit for massive power this year, but I think we would all acknowledge, feel like the power's in there. He's a guy that can hit the ball and drive it out to all fields from both sides of the plate. Right-handed, obviously continues to be a side of the plate that he needs to continue to improve on. But I think a lot of that has to do with his lack of experience. Being a very young man, he hasn't played a ton of minor league seasons just through different injuries and stuff, where's that affected the most? The right side of the plate, where you get less at bats. I do feel like he has the ability right-handed. It's his natural side. You watch him, just in BP and things like that. He's got power the other way. It's very similar. I think it's just an experience thing. But I think he has a chance to really hit. I think he has a chance to become a good defender as well. That's the area he's got to improve on the most, though. We saw really the impact he can have on the base paths. I think he became more than just fast. I think he got better and better at stealing bases, and that became, he was a big part of, why we became more well-rounded and more versatile with his ability to do that. And as far as how he handled things, great. JD's a really good teammate, and if you guys that are around him every day, like, he's got an amazing way about him and disposition about him. Like, he's always kind of the same guy. There's a real consistency in who he is, whether he's going really great and doing great or whether he's losing playing time at the end of the year and down the stretch. He was ready to go every day. He was prepared every day. And he was just as important, the same person and teammate every single day. And that's something that I admire about him. But, there's improvement to be had there for him. He knows that. But I think this season showed us that we can still very much dream on the kind of high-end player we think he could be.
Well, I'd hope so, considering you guys have been dreaming for Anthony Volpe for 3 years, and he just sat there and said they're going to wait another year and keep dreaming for him. So, hopefully you could dream a little bit about Jason Dominguez. M. Beer says you can calculate all those regular season numbers and extrapolate for a small sample set. Postseason and all these are acceptable numbers, won't pan out. Friggin' 26th in the league in K rate, and their nerds couldn't see that. Get the hell out of here. More the same. That's more of the same on what we know about this club. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. More of the same shit. Day after day, we're gonna see what Cashman says, and I'm waiting to get some video on that and go from there. But I mean, there wasn't much that the Yankees, could say today that was gonna make me excited. But I'll just say it again, and people are gonna say, "Yeah, but what would you expect them to say, Pete?" I'm sorry to say this, and I'll repeat what I tweeted the other day. Stop. This current group needs to stop living in the Yankees' past glory. They just have to. This is a team that have been losers for years now. And for whatever reason, Hal Steinbrenner refuses to make a change. For whatever reason, we think it could be, it doesn't really matter. Hal Steinbrenner refuses to change what this team has become, and it is losers. There's no other way of putting that. Anybody could have a problem with that and say, "Oh, Pete, come on, how can you say that?" I can say it by what I see. They talk like losers. They sound like losers. And on top of that, they play like losers. That's all there is to it. This is an organization who has now prided itself on basically just saying, well, we just got to get in to win. This is who they've become. They're a group of losers. That's it.
George Steinbrenner, and he always had the World Series mandate. So after a season where you won 94 games,
he hates hearing that.
Succeeded in the wild card round, but fell short in the division series round. How would you describe this season?
We've had success and failure. Obviously, failed in our ultimate goal, and had some success. Obviously, along the way, we had a good team that but fell short of our ultimate goal. So, I leave it for the masses to debate, what it ultimately came out of. Proud of a lot of things we accomplished, and
what was that?
Players that we, I knew that they were fighting. They were talented, they were fighting, they were committed, and but wasn't good enough.
I know I don't have to remind you that obviously.
Not the Yankees, folks. These are not the New York Yankees, ladies and gentlemen. I've been telling you guys, man, the New York Yankees of old are dead. They are dead. What you're witnessing is a new regime who, for some reason, seems to really dislike the way George Steinbrenner ran things. And it seems like, I hate saying it, but I got to be honest, it almost feels like there's a hatred there when they mention George Steinbrenner's name. They hate hearing it. And people could come out with excuses all they want about, well, George this, George that, George wasn't a great guy, George wasn't this, George wasn't that. No, I never said George Steinbrenner is a saint, but we all knew as fans that George wanted to win. We all knew as fans that George wouldn't rely on second best. George would go get the best that's available. We also know that, George would have wanted quick turnaround with better than what we had before. This is a team that is yet again telling you, well, no, we think there's talent there. We'll do it again. We'll run this back again. We'll do it back again. There hasn't been an apology to the fan base. There hasn't been a you guys show up and show out and spend a shit ton of money. There hasn't been none of that. Hal Steinbrenner is missing. I still got people in my comments saying, why do you feel like he needs to speak? He's the fucking boss of the greatest sports organization in the world that he is taking down a crashing course of disgust and hiding while he's doing it. And people feel like he don't need to answer to you peasants. Who are you peasants that he needs to answer to? It's sickening.
Brian, you said talking about attacking areas of weakness from where you said, what are your areas of weakness going into the off season?
I'm not going to unpack that today. We'll have some free agency that's going to hit. That'll create
What are you
some
there for?
vacancies. We have, got to weigh the available marketplace via free agency or trades with the committed payroll versus the available payroll thereafter. And again, measure opportunities. Some players, knocking on the door, earning the right maybe to take the next step from down below. Obviously at the same time, just trying to weigh what's available to us and if we can get our hands on it, in competition via trade or free agent dollars.
I'm not going to unpack our weaknesses today. I am not going to unpack our weaknesses today. What are you here for? What are you here for today, Brian? To show up because the boss can't show up? The boss is unavailable? So you're here to show up and look stupid? Well, I'm not going to tell you guys what I believe our weaknesses are. Again, the first step of getting better is admitting weaknesses. That is, again, there's no weakness here because you heard what he said before. What are you talking about failure? There was successes. There were successes. What failures? What failures? George would have cycled through 5 Cashmans and Boone already. If this happened in his lifetime, he'd be holding the presser his damn self 150%. 150%. There is no doubt about that. No doubt about it. Let's keep it going.
View securing Bellinger this winter as a top priority for you?
He was an impact player for us. I'm glad we got him. Certainly expect him to opt out. I don't know. We haven't gotten to those conversations yet. We're in the HR version of our, winter so far. We will be scheduling all our internal discussions on roster assessments, player-wise, and then again, looking what we have from within and exploring what we have outside. But I can just tell you, he was really impactful for us, no question about it. One of the many reasons why, we're in a position to believe that, we were capable of great things this year when the dust settled. And so I thank him for everything he's done, and certainly we'd love to have him with our team moving forward. But we haven't had any of those discussions. I haven't had any conversations with Scott Boras, but Bouquet is his way, without a doubt. He helped us on both sides of the ball, offense, defense. He's a versatile player. He was great in our clubhouse.
All right, so that's what you hear on him. Let me get a refresh here to see if there's anything else not regarding Cody Bellinger. If there's anything else, let's see. That is the same one. Let's see the Brian Hoke stuff. A lot of people are telling me to go check out Brian Hoke. Let me see what Brian Hoke tweeted out here. I didn't see it yet. This is one here regarding Anthony Volpe's left shoulder. Brian Cashman said the cleanup was more severe than the MRI results. Okay, so the cleanup was more severe than the MRI results, but yet he still played in the most important games of the year. So, yeah, he played in the most important games of the season. Brian Cashman said he didn't believe in season that Volpe's shoulder was an issue, but now, hell yeah, it was. Now that we lost, you bet your ass it was affecting him. Oh, you bet your ass it was affecting him, damn it. Oh, you bet your ass it was. No doubt about it. It was really affecting him. 150% it was. Now it was. During the year, we had no idea. No idea. At all. At all. That's it. That's it, folks. You know what I mean? Now that the season's over, it greatly affected him. There's no doubt about that. How could I be wrong? How do you think the great Brian Cashman could ever be wrong? I can't be wrong. Are you guys nuts? The hell do you guys know? I'm wrong. Are you nuts? Let's see. What is this here? Anthony Volpe will begin the season on the injured list. Brian Cashman confirms he could return in April or May. Go get a shortstop and get one quick. Go get a shortstop and get one quickly. That's all there is to it, man. Go get one and get one quickly. Brian Cashman considers the 2025 season a success and a failure because you know what? They got to be different than the motto. And here's my thing, and I say this all the time. Then do me a favor, Yankees. Please do me a favor here. If you're going to take away the motto that was under George Steinbrenner, hey, look, it's this simple. We know we're not going to win every year. We understand that. But it's a failed season. Our goal is to win the World Series. I don't want to. The fan base don't want to hear us talking about what was a success. We lost. So here's my suggestion to the Yankees. Can you guys do me a favor and stop using guys like Derek Jeter in highlights? Stop using guys like Bernie Williams in highlights, Paul O'Neill in highlights, Joe Torre in highlights, Joe Girardi in highlights. Do me a favor and stop using those guys. Can you just put a stopping point? Can we do like a before George and after George? Or start of Hal and before Hal? Can we turn this into two different franchises here? And just admit that you guys have been losers for a very long time now. Can you guys admit to, can we utilize, well, what World Series history do we have? Well, you have none. You have none. You've never won. You don't have any. There is no World Series history for you. So stop living in past glory. Stop living in that. There is no history and great glory for you guys. Let me see if we get a little more stuff here from Brian Trashcan, as it's more of the same shit as expected. That was more about Cody Bellinger. Free agent says, okay, you gotta create some vacancies. More of the same shit. Let's see. Okay, what else do we have? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is great. So these are two accounts I really respect, and they know I respect these guys a lot. This is my friend Joe Rondazzo. Definitely respect Joe. And this is all I'm saying. You know, Brian Cashman is proud of what the 2025 Yankees accomplished. The new standard is keeping that 500 season streak going so Cash could coast to the Hall of Fame. And then another count I really respect, Real Boshek, says two things. I'll leave it to the masses. Well, you aren't getting fired, so that's not leaving it to anyone. 100% true, and the Yankees like to say this, right? The fans hold us accountable. The fans can't do nothing. The fans can't do a thing. So that ain't accountability. Ultimate goal. That's the buzzword I've heard for a while now. It's a slick BS way of saying successful season while making believe they still care. Exactly. Exactly correct. And again, there's a lot of fans out there that get it. There's a lot of fans that understand what we're watching. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I'll repeat myself a million times if I have to. This is why NYYU was created. Because there has been a propaganda machine running that beat writers have expanded upon and have used. Because reminder, there are a lot of adult fans now who never saw winning. So all they have to live by is, well, I didn't see those World Series. I didn't see Derek Jeter. I didn't see George Steinbrenner in action. I didn't see none of that. So all I've got to see is how these guys run the show now. Never got to see any of that. So they're basing this stuff off of, we've always lost. It's very hard to win a World Series. You got guys like Ken Rosenthal coming out saying the Yankees are a great team. It's just hard to win. It's nobody's fault. It's just hard to win. You know, there's a part of me that would actually agree with that if they made proper changes. You know, there's a part of me that would agree with that if they didn't extend twice, the first manager in Yankee history 2 times without winning a World Series. 2 times. I wouldn't say that if Brian Cashman did not have a lifetime contract. I wouldn't say it then. I would buy into it a little bit. I would buy into it a little bit if the New York Yankees made changes and it didn't work. The fact of the matter is, what do? They keep running the same team out there. Michael says, I like your content, but why do they have to change their mindset and stop living? Wait, let me read this again. I like your content, but why do they have to change their mindset and stop living in the George era, but every day you compare them to the George era? No, you're not understanding me there, Michael. They do it's them, not me. It's them, not me. I'm holding them to the standard that was set. They're not living in the standard they set. They should come out, like I said before, we're no longer those Yankees. And then I won't compare no more. I won't compare them. They should come out and say, that's not who we are anymore, folks. We're a changed team. We're different. We're running this thing different. Then I'll no longer compare them at all. I'll be very happy to say these are a new Yankee team, no problem. But the only history they have to show is George's time. That's the only history of success they have to show is George's time. That's the success I'm talking about. The time where they made changes. Now, if they want to come out and go, hey, look, man, we're not World Series or bust. We're not. We don't believe in that motto. That motto's an old motto. It's gone. I want it gone. I want it away. I want it away. They show us, but they won't openly admit what they're seeing in the mirror. They won't openly admit what I see in the mirror is not what we once were. We're not that club no more. Well, then I'm going to compare. I am going to compare. I'll compare all the time. And for a lot of those people that seem to be offended, maybe you missed it. Maybe you weren't around in the George era when we had a fan as an owner. When we knew if we were mad, he was mad. That's all we're saying. Who's mad in the Yankees organization today? Hal Steinbrenner? He's upset. Does Brian Cashman look upset? Well, I'm not here to talk about weaknesses. I'm not here to talk about weaknesses. Why would I? Why would I talk about weaknesses today? What's the point? Why would I talk about weaknesses, folks? What's the reason? We have no weaknesses. We have no weaknesses. Here you go. Here's Brian Cashman on Anthony Volpe.
You still see him as your starting shortstop once he's back?
I mean, I think so. I think, I believe in the player still. I think we believe in the player. It doesn't mean that we don't play with on any level, all aspects of roster assessments. He's 24 years old. I don't think New York stage is too big for him. It just, still finding his way. And the age is something that, there's a lot of value to reminding yourself about that. You see, whether it's in our sport, players that eventually figure it out, as they go down the line. You watch the NFL, these number one pick quarterbacks that franchise put everything in. Shortstop's kind of a quarterback position, center field catcher in baseball. And you see that, players that you expect a lot, at early on for seasons, but then they're not living up to their growing pains, so to speak, as they go through getting their sea legs under them somewhere, and then they wind up in a different environment, and now they're leading their teams. And I'm sure there are various different reasons for it, but I think Boone was talking about it with you guys earlier. It's like sometimes this isn't linear. It's also not guaranteed. And that's why it's fair to always assess what you have, and is it good enough, and do you need to replace it, and can you find better, and all that stuff. And that, I promise you, always takes place.
Can I just pause that and just say something really quickly? You saw what he just said. They literally, this team, this is a team that tells you how stupid they are, and it's unbelievable. It's not always linear. You don't always just get better out the gate. Major leagues, first year, second year, third year, you don't just keep getting better, right? It's not always that way. So then, if that's the case, why did you guys pass on everybody that was available? If you are the win now franchise that you're meant to be, why did you pass on everybody when you know a prospect doesn't always pan out? And here's the other thing about that. I've said this from way back then. You can go look at the videos and search them up. There is nothing wrong with saying we believe in the prospect. We believe he's going to be a big part of this team, but you can't pass up on that type of talent that is available. Meaning, if you went out there and added the shortstop, that doesn't mean that Anthony Volpe is not on your team. It's the same thing I say right now about a guy like George Lombard. Should George Lombard prevent you from getting a better player? No, because if he's that good, you will find a spot for George Lombard. Mark my words, you will. Same thing about Anthony Volpe. If the Yankees got a shortstop then, guess what? Second base was opening up. You could have removed Gleyber Torres whenever you wanted to. Third base, nothing was really there. The Yankees had countless opportunities to say, we're going to upgrade there, and if this prospect doesn't pan out, or he does pan out, we're going to have a spot. They admit it. They're just stupid. They just admit it to make themselves look good in the moments. You're wrong.
But I believe in the player. I think we believe in the player. I think the injury probably contributed to the performance season that he wound up having, more so than we would have thought based on our intimate involvement with him and our medical staff and how that played out. And the facts are the facts. He had to have a surgery that's going to take him down. He's not going to be ready for spring training, which therefore will put him out to start the season. He'll be on the IL and be ready sometime in April, maybe, worst case scenario, May.
And I'll pause that right there and say one more thing. This is a grand opportunity for the Yankees to run. He's hurt. Run. There's also no guarantee that he's going to be a better player because of surgery. He can actually be worse. We've seen it before. He could become worse. Run while you have the chance. Run away. Run away from Anthony Volpe as quickly as you can. You have the opportunity now. He's out. He's injured. You needed a shortstop. That's your question. You believe in Volpe? Yeah, we do. You're getting a reset. You're legitimately getting a reset. Well, hey, today you guys picked up so-and-so. Yeah, he's a starting shortstop. What is your plan? He'll be our starting shortstop. What about Anthony Volpe? We believe in him. We believe in Anthony. We just couldn't pass up on this. So what does that mean for Volpe's future? Hopefully we find him a spot. Hopefully he finds a spot. That's it. That's simple. MP says that didn't prevent the Dodgers when they upgrade. That's why the Dodgers are very possibly going to go back to back. And for all those people out there, it's not that easy to win a World up here in World Series and do this and do that. Since 2017, how many times have the Dodgers appeared in the World Series? 5. They've won 2, and they're about to win another one, so it will be 6 times. 6 times in that time frame, and they have a chance of having 3 World Series titles. Yeah, when you commit yourselves to the best players, that's a lot of times what could very well happen. Yeah, that's how it goes. Who's we? Because it ain't the you. You bet your ass it ain't the you. You bet your ass it ain't the you, damn it. Because the you is going to tell you the truth, damn it. Here you go. Here you go. Brian Cashman described Hal Steinbrenner as frustrated, disappointed. He wants another championship here. Does he have a mouth? Is he alive? He can't speak for himself? Where's Hal Steinbrenner at? Where's the boss of this organization, Brian, that has left you in charge of it? Because now you're his talking head? Now you speak for him too? You mean to tell me Hal Steinbrenner can't talk directly to the fan base? This is what we've become? You now speak for the owner of the team? This is the Yankees, guys. And sorry, I'm just responding real quick on Twitter. I have no choice. Apparently, us fans are not worthy of Hal Steinbrenner's presence, so he could not speak himself. He had to send Brian Cashman to go ahead and do it because we are not worthy of being in his presence. For him to speak to the fans that put money in his family's pockets, we are not allowed to speak for him at all. Brian Cashman would tell you what he thinks and what he believes, and that's it. Who are us as fans to ever question what he has to say? We're not allowed to do that. That's simple. We're not allowed to have that conversation, folks. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare talk about being in his presence. That's it. That's simple. So, what do you take out of this? I see 2 guys who don't seem upset at all. I mean, that's the way I see it. And maybe you guys, some of you out there, will go ahead and disagree with me on that, as you very well may disagree with me on that, and that's fine. I see a manager and I see a GM who are not upset. They're not angry. They don't seem angry at all. They don't seem upset at all. They seem very, very level-headed, down to earth with where they are. And honestly, Brian Cashman came across as somebody who feels like, I don't even know why I'm here. Brian Cashman looked at somebody who looked like, I don't even know why I am here talking to you all. I don't even need to be here talking to you guys. There's no point in me doing this. That's what it came across to me. Ross says, so there was more damage to Volpe's shoulder than MRIs revealed. Yeah, he's cooked. Go get Bichette. Run away now. You got the golden opportunity to say bye to the golden boy. He can't play. I needed a shortstop. Think about how easy this is, folks. He can't play. We need a shortstop. We found a great deal. We thought it's a great fit. We added that player. What about Volpe? We still believe in him. It's the same excuse using. We still believe in him. Yeah, but he's not the shortstop. No, but we believe in him. Run. What's that thing? Run. Do it. Anthony Volpe will miss most of the season. Run. That's it. Get away now. It's like the girl in Scream with the big fucking tits that he's about to run. I need to see those tits later. Run, damn it. Don't let him kill you. Run. You got a time frame to get away. Fucking run. Run. How frustrated. Gee golly willikers. I'm miffed. He's miffed. I tell you what, unbelievable. Alex says this org is unrecognizable. It's insane. It's insane. It is insane. Let me tell you something. Anthony Volpe does not have, this is Halloween time. He doesn't have to be the final girl that survives. He doesn't have to be. He does not have to be the final girl that survives, damn it. He doesn't have to be that person. You're literally saying he's going to miss time. Replace him and say he was injured. How can we wait? Bo Bronx. Bo Bronx. Offer all your pitching to the Angels for what's his fucking name? Neto. Somebody, please. It's one of the look, again, I ask everybody. Anthony DiMaggio says, laugh out loud, Pete. You were saying he was going to make the All-Star team in the beginning of year 2. Do you remember the start he got off to Anthony? See, I love when people do this. Because they don't have the balls to do what I do. So they love to do stuff like this. Well, when he was hitting 345, you said he might be an all-star that year, Pete. I love when people do this stuff. Like, you guys crack me up. You also remember, let me give you one better, Anthony. You ready for this? I'm going to give you one better. I was arguing with people at the beginning of this year, saying that Volpe was having a better year. You want to know why, Anthony? Because he was. He was having a better year. I mean, you guys who don't do what I do, you're quick to simply say, wait a second, Pete, hold on. When he was hitting 350 in the first month of the year, you said he was a good ball player. Well, he fucking was. Well, he happened to be a good ball player then. I mean, I love when people do this. It's a marathon season. They say, well, in April, you said he was good. He was hitting 340. Well, I got one better for you. His OPS was like 750 in May of this year or June of this year. And I was saying, guys, look, there are some things he's doing better this year. I'm just saying. There was a level of improvement. Guess what I'm saying now after seeing all that? Go fucking get Bo Bichette. That's what I'm saying. Go get the better player. And for anybody, again, that's saying that he's not the better player, how much crack have you smoked? Because I've had people telling me that Bo Bichette and Anthony Volpe are the same player. Gee, I'm just really mad that I have not seen the 300 average of Anthony Volpe, the leading the league in hits from Anthony Volpe, the 120 some OPS plus from Anthony Volpe. Gee, I've missed that. I don't know where I've been. I just find it so weird because, man, if Anthony Volpe was a 300 plus hitter, I have a hard time believing anybody would have been complaining as much as they have about his defense this season. I'm just saying. I don't believe we would have had anybody complaining as much about Anthony Volpe as you had right now. Can I ask you guys a serious question? If Volpe's been hitting 300 the last 3 years in a row, 310, 180 hits, 185 hits, would you guys want to extend him long term? Just answer me that question. Say he had 2025's defense, but he hit 300. Would you want to extend him long term? Simple question. Yes or no? If Anthony Volpe was a 2025 poor defender, but he hit 300, would you want to extend him long term? There you go. Now, when anybody debates you and they say he's the same player, all you got to say is, yeah, I'll take the bad defense. I'll take I'll take Bo Bichette out of turf. I'll take Bo Bichette on grass where the ball plays a little bit slower than on turf. I'll take that guy over Anthony Volpe. And I'll take that guy to his right. He's going to have Ryan McMahon, who has great range at third base, by the way. How many balls did he cut off in front of Volpe this year to make the play? He has great range. And then you got Jazz to his left, who also has great range going to the bag side of the ball, his right side of the ball. So, yeah, I would take the gamble on that. So when people sit there and go, well, they're the same player, Pete. They're the same player. You're out your fucking mind crazy. And again, let me just say one more thing. I've had some people go back and forth. I mean, they go, Pete, but why isn't what's his name? Oh my God, who's the outfielder? The other out? My goodness, not Cody Bellinger, Kyle Tucker. Why isn't Tucker? Why isn't Kyle Tucker your number one target? Well, folks, it's not that he wouldn't be. I got nothing against Kyle Tucker at all. I would love Kyle Tucker. The question that I've continued to ask this fan base, I've asked this fan base this multiple times a year, and I'll ask it again. What area of need can you find that is the biggest improvement you can make on your team? Ladies and gentlemen, based on what's available out there, it's shortstop. It's shortstop. That is the best area you can improve your club. Shortstop. This is not hard. It's not difficult. Francis did something great yesterday, and I wish I could pull this up right now for everybody, but shout out to my brother Francis, always making amazing points. He put the Baseball Savant page next to Bo Bichette and next to Francisco Lindor. Francisco Lindor, I think it's fair to say, he is one of the best shortstops out there. A lot of people will say he's the best. A lot of people believe, and that's fair. People could believe that. You could have an argument however you want. He's right there with a guy like Lindor. He's right there with him offensively. Offensively, he is right there with him. How can you say it's not an upgrade? Because I just asked all of you. Again, maybe some people missed this question. If Anthony Volpe was the 2025 defender, but he hit 300, 180 plus hits, would you be sitting there going, extend that kid now? Because I would, folks. I would be sitting there saying, extend Anthony Volpe right now. Too valuable. The problem is Anthony Volpe has shown zero indication that he can ever be a player like that. Matter of fact, offensively, Jason Dominguez showed more offensively at age 22 in his first year of barely playing than Anthony Volpe has ever shown. And people all year sat there and argued with me, what do you compare the two? I understand your debate. How can you compare the two? One's an outfield, one's a shortstop. I get it. I understand. It's fair. It's a fair statement to make. All I'm comparing is top prospects. Jose Caballero performed way better than Anthony Volpe. If that's the case, are you better with running him out there? Well, you can't say you are because you didn't do it last year when Anthony Volpe was hurt. You didn't run him out there. The miss with Volpe was having him skip AAA. Could be a part of it, but I don't disrespect the Yankees for that. And I say this all the time. See, people want to act like sometimes, well, Pete, you're not fair. I'm fair. I'm fair. I commended the Yankees for sticking to their guns. Here's my problem. You can't let it become a detriment. Sticking to your guns is one thing. You can't let it become a detriment. That's it. You cannot do that. You can't do that. That's the problem. You can't do that. You can't say, I'm going to stick to my guns and I'm going to wait it and wait it out. Can't do that. That's the wrong thing to do. You got to make, if you want to stick to your guns, fine, I support that. Hey, we want this young kid to come up and play baseball. I'm there with you. I'm there with you. I'm 100% there with you. But you got to know when to say this hasn't worked and we're going to go ahead and move on. We're going to move on. I love when I get people in here debating me. I love, this is my favorite thing in the world. But you're the same dude that's questioning why the Yankees passed on other shortstops. He played well in the minors. Why wouldn't they give him a shot? See, Anthony DiMaggio, ignorance on your side. I never said don't give Anthony Volpe a shot. You want to know what I said? Let me give you a history lesson of Pete Simonetti. By the way, see the face? I do this every day. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. When I'm right. You can go ahead and go look up the videos, my friend. Go ahead, enjoy yourselves. They're out there, I promise. I said, get a free agent shortstop. You don't pass on those guys because of Volpe. If Volpe is as good as you believe he is, it's very simple. He'll find a spot. Guess who the Yankees had at second base back then? Gleyber Torres. I'll be honest with you, I think it was Josh Donaldson they had at third base or Gio Urshela. That's who they had at shortstop, at third base and second base. I said it then, and I say it now. You can easily find a spot for somebody if they're as good as you believe they are. That simple. They should have moved on then. They decided not to. You could have very, very easily signed a shortstop, and Anthony Volpe, if he's that good, you could have go ahead and moved on. Is there a problem with debating you, or we can't debate you? No. I said I love when people debate me. I love it because all my stuff is out there. If I'm wrong, I got no problem of saying I was wrong. I was wrong on Ben Rice. I was wrong on Ben Rice. I do not think Ben Rice, I didn't think he was going to be this good. I was wrong. I can sit here today and say I was totally wrong on Ben Rice. I think Ben Rice is a very good player. He has now shown he is an exceptional player. No doubt about it. And as Francis said, the same logic needs to be with George Lombard. Agreed. That's all I'm saying. You're the New York Yankees. Let me tell you guys something. The Dodgers are winning because they're going out there saying we're getting the best player available. We're not getting the second best. When there's somebody we want, there's nobody stopping us from getting that player. That's a big difference. That's a big, big difference. It's that simple. It's that simple. That's it. You just don't get it. The problem is and has always been Boone, Cashman. I don't get it. I don't get it. Ben Green is brand new here, folks. I don't get it. I don't think there has been a bigger voice out there than me regarding Boone, Cashman, and Hal Steinbrenner. I don't get it, folks. Andy Martino gets it. Andy Martino gets it. Pete Simonetti, nah, he doesn't get it. He's blaming the players. It ain't Pete. Pete don't know. What does Pete know? What does Pete know? Pete has no idea. Pete has no clue, folks. So yeah, they spoke up. Hal Steinbrenner, okay, whatever. Let me see if there's anything else here. I don't think there was. I think that was it. Legitimately a waste of a press conference. I mean, they're legitimately has. I guess this was just an absolute waste. Here we go. We got here's a good one.
I think he's there's a lot of things for him to be proud of. I think he's a good manager. I think he's one of the better managers, and I think like in this environment, if he was out there right now, he'd get a job rather quickly.
There it is.
But I also know because of our environment, he's someone that can be second guessed 10 million times over, and I don't care who you put in that would be the same. Whoever else would be there.
So you never change.
I trust him. I think he's a good man. I think he works his tail off. I think he's got, good people that help support him, and he's got good players. And with all that, it doesn't guarantee the outcome we're all fighting for. But the guarantee is always that we're going to be fighting for it, and that's the one thing that the Steinbrenner family provides for this city is constantly having a team that you can put forth that that you can believe is capable of a championship, and that's the job that we'll be doing again once again next year. I'd rather be talking about a World Series title right now, but I'm not. You know.
And you're also not willing to make changes to what has happened, including yourself. But
the championship caliber intent is always there. So, and I do think I think we have a good manager, and I think he cares, and I think he works hard, and I think he's got good people. And
folks, can I? This is something that the Yankees have said for years, and it's funny because they repeated it again. As M. Beer says, Pete doesn't get it. Front office plant. Yes, I have been put in by the New York Yankees to do this job to confuse the masses. That is my job, by the way, guys. The Yankees pay me very good to do this job, to confuse a lot of people. Let me say something here. The Yankees find ways to say we're good with the worst type of analogies of all time, or not even analogies. The worst type of statements, I guess I should say. So here's the craziest thing in the world. They tell you Boone's a good manager. You want to know why? Another team would pick him up. That makes him a good manager. If I was working in the bank and I got fired from one bank and another bank picked me up, that probably would happen. That doesn't mean I'm good. That doesn't mean I'm good. That doesn't mean I'm good. And guess what? Let's just go along with it and say, well, he was good. It didn't happen here. So what's it matter? Hey, Brian, again, he could be the greatest manager of all time. It hasn't worked here, so you move on. Just because somebody says, hey, I'm firing you, and then you get another job, that does not mean you're good. It means, hey, there you go, sure. That's the right word. It means you're available. You're a manager that has a good winning percentage, and you're available. You might work better with another team. You might work better for another team. So what does that have to do with the Yankees? That means you keep your job. And it's just, I get so frustrated because, again, look, the beat writers, they do have to deal with Jason Zillo. And God bless them for keeping their cool or whatever it is, because Jason Zillo isn't going to let them say certain things, and I understand that. But how can somebody not just simply say, hey, Brian, a few years ago now, we're going, many, many years back here, you sat here and told all of us that wins and losses do not determine a person keeping their job as long as they're following the process. We still do not know. I'm assuming the ultimate goal of that process is to win a World Series. You all have not done that. So do you have an update for us? I think that's a very fair question. The one thing I say all the time, and I say it here a lot, is you can question the Yankees very easily by just repeating what they've said in the past. I've always said this. It's very, very easy to question Aaron Boone. It's very easy to question Brian Cashman. Just use their past statements. That's all you got to say. Hey, you said this then. Can I get an update on that? You said Anthony Volpe's elite. Can I get an update on that? You said that again. Wins and losses do not determine if somebody keeps their job. How's that working out for you? How's that working out for you? Oh, it's not. Okay. So it's correctly, it is not working out for you. Okay. No problem. I get it. I understand that. Well, I'm also happy that the owner couldn't show his face, so he sent Brian Cashman out there to go ahead and say, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? That's all there is to it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's more of the same. It's more the same. It's more the same nonsense. Trust me, guys. I would be the first person to sit here and say, hey, look, I hope they make changes. Now, again, I'll leave you guys a little bit with this, right? Is if there ever was a time that they could replace Anthony Volpe. I know this is, throwing fucking water in the ocean. I ain't doing much. But now would be the time with him being out. You have an excuse. You have a beautiful, beautiful excuse to upgrade the shortstop position. Hey, we had to upgrade it. Volpe was going to be out. We couldn't take a risk there. We're trying to win a World Series. That's why we brought in so-and-so. What does that mean for Anthony Volpe? Well, we got to see how he recovers first and go from there. That's it. That's it. It's not even saying that you've given up on him. You don't even have to say that. You can say, look, we still feel there's a spot here for him. We just got to figure it out. But we'll see. I again go back and I'll just repeat one more time what I said earlier. If a lot of people out there believe that him getting this surgery is going to make him a better player, I warn you. I warn you. Miguel Andujar has shoulder surgery. He was never the same hitter again after that rookie year. And you could say, well, it had to do with other stuff, That's it. That's it. Well, Anthony, that tells me everything I need to know about you. That's all I needed to read right there. Andy Martino's a great one out there. Claudius says, sign Bo, then if Volpe's back healthy playing, we'll move Jazz to center field and Bo to second base. Brother, Claudius, I'm happy you even just mentioned that and brought that up at all, because there are openings for this club. You bring in a guy like a Bo Bichette and you go, well, maybe he's better at second base. Maybe he's better at third base. You do have the viable options of doing that. You don't have to extend Jazz Chisholm long-term this year. You could let him play another season and see what happens. You don't have to guarantee him a contract. You got no reason to do that. You don't have to jump the gun on that. Now, if you want to, okay. I can see why. 30-30 guy, good player. I get it. But you don't have to. You don't have to jump to that gun, man. You don't have to do that. Kevin says, what other shortstop would you want in a trade besides Neto? Maybe a guy like Tovar from Colorado, who is more talented, better defender, and better bat. Wouldn't mind him either. But like I said, man, look, I think at the end of the day, asking for Zach Neto is probably crazy. That's a team right there in the Angels that are probably gonna undergo a new manager. And Albert Pujols right now seems like the most logical player to take over. I don't think Albert is gonna want to sit there and talk to this club and go, well, we just traded my best player. Or maybe they want to start fresh, which I doubt. Zach Neto's a really, really good player. Plenty of years of control. Highly doubtful they'd put him on the market. If they did put him on the market, man, you go out there and do whatever you can to get him. You'd have to go out there and really, really do whatever you can to lock that player in long term. Because he is a great player. He is a great player. Montgomery from the White Sox, highly doubtful to do anything like that. I highly doubt to do anything like that. No reason for a White Sox team to do something like that. They're an up-and-coming team. And go from there. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Sounds like a higher quality Italian than Volpe. Oh, yeah. I mean, look, Zach Neto's a way better player than Anthony Volpe. It's not even close. And, it's sad because a guy like Neto doesn't get the same type of... I always say Anthony Volpe's a fucking lucky kid, man. Don't get me wrong. He's busted his ass in life. He's getting sponsorship deals for hitting 210. I mean, where else besides New York? Let's be honest, guys. Where else besides New York are you getting sponsorship deals hitting 210? It's nowhere. It's nowhere. Nowhere. No other place in planet Earth are you hitting 210. New York is beautiful for that. You can be the worst player in the planet. And Anthony Volpe, by all imagination, not imagination actually, was one of the worst players in baseball last year. He was. That's fact. That is fact. He's out there getting sponsorship deals. Can you imagine you getting on a bus, you look up, and you say to yourself, imagine being an opposing player, and you're Zach Neto in New York. You look up and go, what the fuck? Anthony Volpe's on fucking a clothing line is sponsoring Anthony Volpe's on a billboard? Where the fuck am I playing that I'm not getting this shit? I'd be disgusted. M. Beer says Jazz to the outfield? Question mark. So he can just stare at the wall in disbelief when a ball bounces off of it funny, or at his glove when he drops a routine fly ball. No thanks. And I wasn't suggesting going and putting them back to center field, by the way. I wasn't suggesting that. Just saying. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. That's it. That's it. That's it. Anthony, so here's again, I love debating people like Anthony. I love when people like this are in here. This actually might be Andy Martino, by the way, folks. It might not even be Anthony. It's a fake name. Could very well be Andy Martino. Yeah, I actually commend Aaron Boone a lot for defending his players the way he does. I've done it many times. I say I think Aaron Boone is loyal to a fault. I've commended him for defending his players, making himself look like a moron half of the time, defending certain things that he defends. Said it a lot. I've said it many times. Doesn't make him a good manager for the New York Yankees. It also doesn't give him a pass to be the manager forever. Aaron Boone, as I have been saying longer than anybody, is controlled by the Yankees front office. He is in, as Susan Wallman rightfully said, by the way, I listened to Susan's comments. Susan wasn't wrong, so I was being ignorant. I never listened to it, and I was assuming she was disagreeing with things that I've said in the past that I know are fact, and she wasn't. Susan Wallman was actually telling the truth. Aaron Boone is in lockstep. He's in lockstep with he believes in the analytics side of things. Why I get mad at him is because he'll sit there and say, I'm a baseball guy. No, you're not. No, you're not. No baseball guy on planet Earth would bat Anthony Rizzo leadoff. There's not a baseball guy on planet Earth that would do a lot of the moves you've done in the postseason. That would say that's normal. I'll take out Garrett Cole because he dominated all day, but there's the bases loaded in the postseason. There's no baseball guy on planet Earth that would do moves like that. There's no baseball guy on planet Earth that would bat Anthony Volpe. There it goes, right on time. Bat Anthony Volpe fifth consistently. Those baseball guys don't exist. That's a lie. That's the New York Yankees currently for you. That's who they are. That's the way they go about business. Again, man, it's just really frustrating because I wanna root for the Yankees more than anybody. I want to be able to call a World Series. NYU continues to go up. Next year we're gonna be having a studio. We're gonna be doing bigger things than we've ever done here. And trust me, the last thing I want to keep talking about is another failed season from the New York Yankees because they just don't seem to see what is obvious. And they refuse to admit that they're wrong. They'll sit there and tell you this has been a successful year. We lost the World Series, but it's been successful. There was a lot of successes there. No, there wasn't. There were no successes. You lost. You lost. It's that simple. It's not hard to say. And for a lot of the people, Ben, I'm with you in many ways regarding that. But can I say one thing? It ain't the regular fans doing that, man. I hear this a lot from Yankee fans, and I get it. I hear this a lot from Yankee fans, and I get it. It's not the regular Yankee fans like all of us here in this chat that is going to Yankee Stadium, spending a shit ton of money every single day. Corporations are not leaving Yankee Stadium. They're not leaving it. Tourists are not leaving Yankee Stadium. The Yankees are going to make money no matter what. I could sit here every single day until I'm blue in the face saying, guys, you shouldn't show up to the stadium. It ain't going to make a difference. Replay says, same guy batted J.D. Davis behind Judge. That's a baseball guy. I forgot about that. You know, it's sad. There's been so many things under this tenure that I've forgotten about. J.D. Davis batting cleanup. That's a baseball guy's move. J.D. Davis batted cleanup for the New York Yankees, but that is a baseball guy's move. More of the same. So, guys, again, we're not done here at the U today. NYYST will be live tonight at 8 p.m. just to give everybody an update on that. They'll be doing their annual Keep 'em or Dump 'em. But, folks, that is going to be it for me today. There is nothing at all that we heard today that should inspire any bit of confidence to anybody here. Again, there's a lot of offseason to go. Doesn't mean the Yankees aren't going to go do, anything pretty decent or pretty special at all this year. But you know what I mean? It is what it is. Let me see something here. This is a nice list that just came out, but don't get rid of Anthony Volpe. Top shortstop. Somebody said the other day, Pete, can you name me 10 shortstops better than Anthony Volpe? There you go. You want more than that? We could give you more than that. Somebody said that, no joke. There you go. Bobby Witt, Perdomo, Lindor, Pena, Turner, Seager, Bichette, Henderson, Neto, Wilson. There's a guy on that list that is a free agent. There's a guy on that list, ladies and gentlemen, that is a free agent. All you got to do is pick up the telephone. All you got to do is pick up the telephone and call him. That's all you got to do. Pick up the telephone and give that man a call. With that being said, folks, you guys are the best. Much love to each and every one of you. We've been on for a little over 2 hours. Like I said, man, we got a lot of stuff in the pipeline here. Don't go away. Tonight, 8 p.m., NYYST will be live. I'll be calling games again, of course. Probably tomorrow. I'll be back at it calling the game. I think there's a game tomorrow. I don't know. At this point, the Yankees not playing. I got no freaking idea. But go out there, man, and we'll cover it for you. No matter what happens, we will be here at the U, as always. It is what it is, man. Put the cameras on crying children's faces. The hell is Carl? Are you okay, Carl? What the hell is Carl talking about? What the hell? All right, yeah. Somebody get Carl out of here, please. This psychopath. But everybody have a great rest of your day. You guys are the best. Much love to each and every one of you guys. Peace out. You're the best, folks. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.
We got it next. That's how you finesse. We come for they next. We come to collect. Did it all on my own, yeah. When it brought it back home, yeah. Now they calling my phone, yeah. But I'm all in my zone. They not a threat. Tell them reset. When they're at their best, we still not impressed. Did it all on my own, yeah. When it brought it back home, yeah. Bought a watch with the stones, yeah. Caught them watching my throne, yeah. Ain't no one doing it.